All right, welcome everybody to another week of combat-tested gaming Rocket League action. Today we have Goats and Glory facing off against the Hinao Bros, and both of these teams in their last week match completely swept the competition and are both sitting with 5 full points, going 5-0 in their week 1 matches. Just a reminder, these matches are 5 total games, not best of 3, not best of 5, but 5 full games, and every win does go towards their final scoring for their league placement. And how are you feeling about these two teams today, Ari?
Oh boy. Well, I know that we saw last week on the broadcast, we didn't see that 5-game sweep. I believe it was a 4-1, if I'm not mistaken, maybe something around that line, but no full sweeps there. So every game is going to matter in this one, especially for tiebreakers. These two teams are tied. One of them will take the lead. One of them could be the number 1 seed going into this one, but I mean, we got to do what we always do, right? We got to pick who we're rooting for based off the names, and well,
I don't know if it's fair anymore. All right, yeah, I'm gonna root for Hino Bros. I think that's the prudent decision right now.
You know what? You can do that. You can have your little cheat goal because I am gonna go for Goats and Glory because they are the Goats and they are gonna obtain all the glory.
Absolutely. Yeah, both of these teams, there's only 4 teams in the league right now that are sitting at 5-0. It's Team 3, Team 5, Goats and Glory, and Hinao Bros. And no matter what happens tonight, there might be, two-way tie for first place, but no matter what, that number is going to start dwindling. Obviously, there's some complexities if, like the teams with only 1 loss end up sweeping and some things like that. So we'll have to see how the leaderboard shakes out after this week. But also, if you're new here, if you're unfamiliar with what Combat Tested Gaming is, it is a phenomenal community league of veterans and active duty service members, and it's completely free. And if you are a veteran or active duty service member, you should join. We have a Discord channel where we talk about VA benefits, VFW, questions, and also there's a lot more games than just Rocket League. There's also Call of Duty, Madden. If you play it, they've got it. There's new games being added all the time. So go ahead and give it a check out.
Yeah, make sure to stop on by, right? We're not just here this one day a week, although we may seem like it on the broadcast. The Discord is always up and running, so make sure to pop on in there, which I believe you can click on the link down there. But going back to this game, we haven't really talked much about it. Rosa Trinity has been the one to score not 1 but 2 goals, taking Hino Bros into that lead, and Goats and Glory may be trailing behind just a tad.
Yeah, we did kind of gloss over while we were talking. Flux had actually scored a goal there as well. So right now, right off the gate, both these teams showing why they are in the top 4 teams of the league right now. Both playing very aggressively, both getting these goals in on each other. I'm looking forward to a really tight game here.
I mean, definitely could see a tight game, and well, we are so far, right? We do see some blowouts occasionally, but this one seems pretty evenly matched. Both of these teams, I mean, in the rankings, right, they're close, and now in terms of gameplay, they are indeed close to finding a goal as well. Flux pops it over 1 and will get it done. Look at that, 2v2 on the score line. What else do you want? Flux is there.
Yeah, and Dude was almost there just in time, and you saw it there in the recap. That nice little flip off to the right almost did deflect the ball enough, but it was just too open. And we've said it before, when we have these 2v2 matches, it is very swingy in the sense that when you're on the attack and both players are there, getting back in time, if there's a breakaway, is just so tough. So we'll have to see if there are more opportunities for that, or if these teams adjust and play a little bit more positionally to both play defense and offense.
You said flipped him off. I don't know if that's super respectful going into this game, but
did I say flipped him off? When did I say that?
No, you said flipped off, but it was just funny. I was laughing in my head, saying that was a little bit of some disrespectful gameplay as we would have seen, but nope, just that 2-2 tie. As we're getting into it, and the double commit. Nobody is able to clear this ball, and finally Rosa Trinity will send this one back on out. There you go. Here's the shot from the sidewall. That one gets denied over by Topside, and wow, both of these teams looking like a solid even match. That ball not quite being in anybody's favor.
Absolutely, and we are seeing, the Goats and Glory team. Topside seems to be more on the defense. Definitely playing more on the backfield towards the Goats and Glory side of the field, allowing Flux to kind of be that forward player, that aggressor, applying that pressure to Hinao Bros so far in this match.
I don't think that's necessarily a terrible thing to have, right? I mean, that's neither good nor bad. It is just a strategy that they're going with, and we'll see how it works out. They might be recognizing their pros and cons, but right now, a con is the ball is in their net as Rosa Trinity, not 1, not 2, but 3 goals. So put them on the hat. It's time for the hat trick.
Yeah, great job by Rosa Trinity. Sadude with the phenomenal setup there, knocking it from the wall clear across the field into the danger zone of that net. And Rosa Trinity took full advantage of that and just tapped it in.
Tappa. This isn't Happy Gilmore, though. This isn't golf. This is car soccer. We love playing soccer with cars. And, well, we're going to see if that goal will come on in, that equalizer. That, needs to be made by Goats and Glory. They're searching for it. They've been so close, but don't let it all go for naught right now. Flux will have to make a good touch and does so. Topside trying to pinch this one out. Does get the pinch, but not too much power, not quite on target to go in the net. So time running low here. They're going to need one in the final 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds remaining. Not looking great in the first game for Goats and Glory, but Flux is taken to the air. Might get a bounce off here, but not with Sadude on defense. I think that's going to be it for the first round of this 5-game series.
Yes, indeed it is. I mean, the score line, 3-2, right? It was really just that early lead from Hinao Bros, which allowed them to kind of trade goals back and forth. You would assume that Goats and Glory had another one in their pocket, but they just didn't have enough time to show it for us.
Yeah, looked good. I think that the series as a whole is really anyone's to take home at this time. We also saw, very similar shots on target. We had 8 shots from the Hinao Bros, and we also had 6 shots from Goats and Glory. Both teams playing very similar. Now that they've got a feel for each other, we're going to have to see how it is that they adjust their play going into round 2.
Game number 2, and for those of you, if you're just joining us, remember this is not a best of 5. This is 5 total games. So, Hinao Bros, they might be up 1-0 right now, but every single game matters, and they're going to have to get out to a strong start with the goals reset. And, well, it will be Rosa Trinity to get that first few touches, but the ball once again floating around for anyone's possession. Topside will try and sneak one in there, but it actually just flies out to midfield.
Yeah, and I thought there was going to be an open net opportunity there for Goats and Glory. Oh, I was actually turned around a little bit. Yeah, Goats and Glory a little bit on the defensive here. Sadude has an open net. Is it going to be set up for Rosa Trinity? Unfortunately not, and then Rosa Trinity does take out Topside, buying them a little bit of time to get back on their side of the field and set up for another attack on the Goats and Glory net.
Well, if you can't win the game or you can't score the goal, just demo their whole team. Make sure none of them can play the game and even have a remote chance to get the offense going. But this one was a little bit close, just off that MVP, most valuable post on the left side. And that'll be a big one. Oh my, is that in? No,
I think it's going to be after Topside just boots it in there. I'm going to have to look at the recap there. I'm seeing Rosa Trinity saying sorry in the chat. I think that was almost a self-goal. Based off of just a large bounce all the way from the Goats and Glory side of the field, bringing it back to the Hinao Bros side, and that gave Topside the opportunity to just bounce it in and get the first goal of this match. Is this going to be a second one? And it is! Topside with 2 goals within seconds of each other. This one coming straight off of the kick, just right down the field, and sneaks right by Rosa Trinity to give them a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, I mean, just beautiful, right? That's what you talk about, getting out to that strong start, and, well, they do, right? This isn't what they showed us last game, and they're starting off strong this one, right? We always saw it be a 1-goal differential, right? Never did it get to 2, but now here we are at 2. Let's see how Hinao Bros have to respond to this, because they've never been in this situation before. There's maybe a shot, but no, that one gonna get denied over for the time being. Topside been that threat this game. Will they have any more juice in the tank? Yes, they will, but it gets out to Flux, and Flux will launch that one on out.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, this is the biggest differential, but quickly that gap has been closed by Rosa Trinity's first goal of this game. And, that one goal from topside, his second one, that was right off the kick. And I feel like anyone that has played Rocket League for any period of time has definitely experienced that kickoff goal. And I don't think that it's going to be something that's going to tilt the Hino Bros. And I think that they're going to be able to come right back, play disciplined, and not let that get under their skin.
Hino Bros actually just went for a fake kickoff. They're already trying to show some strats, but it's not gonna work out for them, as guess who's on the hat now? It's topside.
For sure. The last game, Flux was kind of the primary scorer from Goats and Glory, but topside is just knocking them in left and right in game 2. Definitely warmed up and ready to go. It's now on the Hino Bros to stop this. It's now on them to start making some action, applying some pressure, and keeping the Goats and Glory back on their side of the field so they can quit just knocking in these open shots.
Yeah, to see Flux there just putting on the brakes. Didn't want to touch that ball into their own net, but here you go. This ball very, very close, and, well, topside now. Going to look for something, but it is just that ball possession getting bumped away once again. But, oh, this one's out. Flux maybe has a shot chance, but no, just a little bit too awkward to get a beautiful shot on target. Instead, once again, the ball just keeps on bouncing around.
The ball keeps bouncing around. I think that's, if Rocket League was like a book, that would just be the thesis. The ball just keeps bouncing around. And right now, it seems like both teams fighting for possession. It is going all over the place. Very tough to read who has the upper hand. But right now, topside almost with a goal there. Does set it up for Flux to maintain some possession. Gets a good dribble, but it is stolen by Rosa Trinity and Dude trying to take it downfield and get a second goal for the Hino Bros. Are they going to be able to do it? Maybe not that time, as Flux is there on the defense, and now it's back to fighting over possession.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yep, I saw that one coming. You saw whiff number 1, you saw whiff number 2, and just like the windshield wipers on that car, cleared out the defenses for Flux to just sink that one right on in.
Yay, go the Balloons, as Goats and Glory are now up 4-1 in round 2. A minute and 40 seconds remaining. The Goats and Glory going to have to go hard on the offense here if they're going to want to come back. Luckily, the scores of the matches, I don't believe, matter for tiebreakers or anything along those lines. And so there is relatively low risk to pushing and going hyper-aggressive now from the Hino Bros perspective. Because even if it fails, okay, maybe they get some more goals, or they start closing the gap like Rosa Trinity did right there. Now they've got a game 4-2. This is feasible for the Hino Bros with some lucky plays.
I mean, lucky plays, skillful plays, whatever you want to call it. But either way, my prediction, the Goats and Glory, they're still coming on back. So you with your little cheat goal in the first game. Yeah, this is the real Goats and Glory. They're here to play. They got 4 goals on the board. All of them look very, very nice. And they want to get even more here as, oh my, is topside good for another? No, but it's Flux. Look at the passing play.
That was beautiful. We're going to see it here on the recap. Bouncing off the wall, topside sets it straight up for Flux and knocks it right over Rosa Trinity. Beautiful play. Well executed. And now I would say it is going to be a little tough for the Hino Bros to come back from this 3-goal difference with only around 60 seconds remaining. They're going to have to be scoring at least a goal every 20 seconds. And so far, that hasn't really been the case. We'll see what they can make happen with Rosa Trinity popping it up. But is Flux going to be able to take this all the way? Jukes one defender, but no. Dude does take possession and is starting their way towards the Goats and Glory side.
Nope, that one sent right back down. And guess who's there? It's topside. So not even the hat trick, right? Add a little bit more. Put a helicopter on that hat, right? It's I don't know what those are called, but
helicopter
you get the
hats,
point.
Aren't they?
Are they?
Propeller hats?
Propeller hats, yeah.
Awesome hats. No, absolutely. I think this one is pretty safe to say it's going to go to Goats and Glory favor, but I do want to see how the Hino Bros hold up, right? Like, how do they play when they're down? We see topside with another goal there, bringing it to 7-2. And I think right now, Goats and Glory, if I were them, it would be a little bit of trying to just get under the skin of the Hino Bros, right? Like run up the score just a little bit, because there's 3 more rounds after this. So plenty more Rocket League to go.
I mean, I think that this team, is kind of taking that mental timeout, right? You got 30 seconds. Chances are you're not coming back in this one. You need 1 goal every 5-6 seconds. It's probably not going to happen. So maybe just use this time to think, okay, what can we do to get the goal, the hole in the defenses? And, well, they found out where it is. It's right there, as Sadude will get on the action, bringing this to a 7-3 game.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I would love nothing more than to see a full comeback here. We've got 19 seconds remaining. Let's see what we can do. Hot Milkman in chat again. I always have to mention when the Hot Milkman's around.
Not on Sundays.
Not on Sundays. Hot Milkmen don't come around on Sundays, but on Wednesday night, he never seems to fail to miss a stream. Good to see you. Good to see everyone watching tonight. Good to see the massive amount of support here for the veterans and active duty service members playing in some good old-fashioned Rocket League. And there it is. The winner for round number 2 is Goats and Glory as we go into round number 3 of tonight's 5-game series.
Yeah, that 5-game series, the 5 total games, and already, just looking off of the first 2 games, right? You wouldn't have expected game 2 scoreline based off of game number 1, right? It just wouldn't happen, right? It was 3-2, it was back and forth, back and forth. Now you're seeing, oh boy, that is 7 to 2 or 3? Okay, they're going to need to chill out for a second, or maybe that throttle is just going to keep on going.
Yep, and here we go with Flux with an early shot downfield towards the Hino Bros and topside, keeping that momentum from game number 2. That was a great setup. This was definitely something going on in their comms as Flux takes it to that left corner, has it bounce across the front of Hino Bros net, and topside pushes it in with an early first goal for Goats and Glory.
I mean, that's really just a beautiful touch, right? That's what it comes down to. Sure, you can do all the setup in the world, but the execution has to be there, and that it was just a beautiful touch by topside to get yet not another goal. And now they're looking for more. Fluxes on that attack now, but it's going to force topside to back it on up. Goes on the wall and now has a whole half to themselves for the time being. Sets up Flux here, and Flux will now get on the board. That's what you like to see. It's the team play.
Yeah, absolutely. The team play coming out right now is phenomenal, right? We saw that first goal kind of pass off of the corner, and then we see it again with topside bouncing it down quickly to Flux, who was set up and ready to receive it. I'd love to be kind of a... There's a cold milkman now in the chat. I'm sorry. That was really distracting. So we have hot milkman and cold milkman. This is apparently the place for dairy. But anyway, here we go. We had a good attack there from Goats and Glory, but now it is Hino Bros on the attack as Rosa Trinity starts sending it downfield, and Sadude trying to get a good angle on it. Ooh!
There's the angle.
There's the angle! Finally! A little bit of a segue that leads to the truth instead of it being like, oh, yeah, they're setting up for off, and, they just self-goaled. That was a beautiful shot off of what I believe you referred to as the most valuable post recently on defense, but on offense, still the most valuable post.
Yeah, I mean, get out the protractor, go back to high school, because that one you're going to need to learn some extra geometry for, and that they did. Beautiful goal there by Sadude, and it will close the gap that was very, very large by Goats and Glory, right? They had that really, really big lead, and going for the bump instead. I like the play, but unfortunately didn't realize where topside was, so topside will get control of this ball, flicks it on over, and will sink it on in. It's like, I got it, throwing ball number 1, ball number 2, and this time it goes on in.
That was a really good attempt at defense by Rosa Trinity, though. Really awkward kind of redirection. Came all the way back, skidded, and then was able to jump and still get a piece of it, but unfortunately, it did still go in for Goats and Glory on that, giving the score 3-1.
3-1 now, that scoreline. But Rosa Trinity, we saw a lot from them in game number 1. Maybe this time slowing it down, right? Kind of got put on the back burner, right? We haven't said their name too much, and that's because, well, the flashy plays aren't there. Whatever was ticking for them in that game number 1 it's not working. But maybe they can get something started here. Here's Rosa taking it on up, trying to maybe set up the teammate, but that one's just ball control perfectly from Flux. And, well, now everyone's just fighting for this ball as you kind of have Dude now just trailing with it. Everyone just letting this ball fly around, making sure it doesn't go in their own net while actively trying to push it in their opponents. That's the game of Rocket League for you.
Yeah, this is Rocket League for sure. And what we were seeing also, you know, in those fights for, Dude with another goal does bring it 3-2, closing that gap. And this one's just a straight up shot, right? Bounces off of Flux, bounces up into the air, and then gets the double touch to send it over topside for that goal. That was absolutely beautiful. What I was saying, though, is in those fights for that, for the possession that we keep seeing, it really comes down to that boost management and who can kind of steal those boosts in the appropriate times to have that edge over their opponents. And that's what we kind of keep seeing with the team that ends up taking that possession and running it all the way across the field. Right now, I'd say we're in that case again, and we'll kind of see if maybe that theory pans out or if there's just a breakaway, as we've seen a few times so far.
You see times and time again in SSL lobbies and RLCS lobbies where the game seems very, very aerial oriented, right? That ball barely touches the ground, and, well, it may not be on the ground right now. It is in the back of the Hino Bros net. That's going to be topside, striking it over to Flux, and Flux will sink that one on in. But look at that, 4-2 now, the scoreline.
Yep, and this is that dangerous 2-goal separation that we kind of saw start the momentum for Goats and Glory last game. And we do see a demo on Rosa Trinity does set the Hino Bros back just a little bit, and now they're on the defense and all the way across. Topside was able to just kick it up and send it in for a 5th goal.
I mean, it's really just a team bump, right? You saw it towards the orange net, and it didn't really work out. Yeah, you got that team bump in there, and I thought this was a 2v2, not a 3v1. So that orange team going to be struggling just a tad as you see it in the gameplay. But either way, Goats and Glory in control of this one, looking to keep it that way, and will do so at least for the remainder of what they hope to be is 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Oh, Rosa Trinity was completely set up there, but the defense being very effective for Goats and Glory was able to knock that out. Now, an opportunity here, and it does go in. Rosa Trinity scoring from very far across the field. It looked like about the halfway mark, and Dude there to make sure it goes in. Actually, I had those backwards. Dude shot it in, and Rosa Trinity there to ensure that no one got in the way. This is a great game, Ari.
Yeah, a little bit of a stolen goal there, but you know, that's for them to decide and have quaffles over, not us. We're just here to sit and yap.
It's all about the team, not your personal goals.
My personal goal is to watch some good games of Rocket League. How about that?
Yeah, well, check it off the list, because right now we have Hino Bros coming out hot. Right now we have a little bit of an open net. We got Subbro and Rosa Trinity making their way over, but ooh, Flux, that was a very timely touch there. Just knocked it over the orange player, and now it's kind of a fight for possession again. And Dude setting it up, Rosa Trinity, and it goes all the way in, 5-4. There's 50 seconds left. So the Hino Bros are set up to come back and potentially win this game, either before or during overtime.
I mean, that was just a beautiful, ball control. That's what it really comes down to in these games, especially in 2v2, right? It's not really about those passing plays. Sure, they are nice, but if you can get yourself a 1v1, that's kind of how it ends up a lot of the time, and that's why you see that 2v2s are often considered, I would say one of the more skilled game modes. But here we are now with 5 versus 4, the score line, 30 seconds remaining, and still playing from behind is that Hino Bros team, but maybe they're on the attack right now. Nope, Flux will send this one right back on down, looking for another touch. This one might go in, but opts to fake it. The bump almost coming through. Rosa Trinity almost own goaling, but now has to send it back the other way. Time ticking now as Flux will save that one away, but once again, 5 seconds left. They need to get a shot on goal, and it will be in the opposite way. Topside will put the nail in the coffin, and 6-4 will be the score.
6-4 will be the score. Yeah, no, that really does put the nail in the coffin. But it's also not a bad move by the Hino Bros, right? Like, they had to be up front. They had to leave that net a little open and increase that risk to try to get that goal off. It was their only chance, and unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work out for them in this round, but I'm excited for the next 2 games between these 2 teams.
Any goals for the road? Nope, no goals for the road. Just the Goats and the Glory all continuing through game number 3. And as we move into game number 4, right, you got to be saying, okay, what did Hino Bros do in that first game that worked so well that they're not doing in games 2 and games 3? They're going to need to find that reason, capitalize on it, and hopefully they'll tie this one up game number 4, make it a nice even scoreline for game number 5.
Absolutely. Hino Bros, they won the first game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was doubting myself there just a little bit, but yeah, I think that they come back. If we can get a 2-2 series here and then have a deciding round in the 5th game, I think that would be ideal. However, what I am curious to see at the end of tonight is how that leaderboard shifts, right? As these teams keep this more and more even, it's going to allow those teams lower on the leaderboard to catch up with these points. So, very curious to see what comes after these next couple of rounds.
I mean, regardless of what the standings will look like, I expect to see both these teams in that postseason tournament. And Flux going to show you why here. Maybe looking for that shot. No, opts to get the boost instead. Didn't quite find the perfect angle. But yeah, Flux has been a force to be reckoned with, as well as Topside, right? That entire blue team, that entire Goats and Glory side have just had some sort of magical chemistry, and it hasn't stopped here.
100%. I do want to call out Rosa Trinity's just dribbling in that early game. He was bouncing it all over the opposing team and made really strong progress. I'd love to see that again and ideally end with a goal for the Hino Bros. Now, right now, we do see Flux taken to the air with an open net at his disposal. It's going to bounce over his Topside there. He was, but Rosa Trinity was also there for the defense.
You hate to see it, right? You're like, I got it here. I got the open net. And then you either run out of boost, you get the wrong angle, something just doesn't align, or somebody comes flying in from Narnia and bumps you into, I guess, Narnia once again. And, well, Rosa Trinity, well, finally we get to say their name a little bit more as they got that goal, finally, that they have been searching for the past, 2-3 games?
Yeah, and you can see how that demo really helped out, right? You could see the blue player appearing out of nowhere there at that goal, and that was them respawning after the demo that occurred. So definitely took advantage of that moment and didn't take any risks with being flashy, walked it straight into the net, and gave them the lead, which may, well, it looks like it's going to be expanded here with Sadude doing a very similar act and just walking it straight into an open net. So far, Hino Bros 2-0 in this 4th match.
And you've seen these goals too, right? They're not exactly like, oh, it was a great shot past a defender that was out of position. Yes, it was a defender out of position, but that's kind of just a walked goal on in, right? So that means mistakes are being made from this Goats and Glory side, and yet another one will lead for this scoreline to be 3-0, and Sadude just keeps on punishing.
I'm loving it, and we're seeing more of that really good dribbling from Rosa Trinity right there, which really allowed Sadude to get set up and shoot that ball straight in. This is nuts, and I'm curious if there is like some mental game at play here, right? Like maybe the Goats and Glory are just a little overconfident from the scorers of the last 2 games, but the Hino Bros not letting up, coming out hot, and showing that they are not tilted. They're not out of this, and they are good for at least potential another win in this series.
I can't help but think, right? You have the one team, the Hino Bros being that orange side, the Goats and Glory being the blue side. I mean, is this just the flux capacitor of the multiverse where it's actually just the 2 milks fighting in our chat as well?
You know, I was going to ask you if you've been monitoring the chat at all. Anyone, I don't know if you're watching on YouTube in the future or right now, but yeah, good discussion on Milk and Milkmen. Pretty interesting stuff. If you're not so interested in Rocket League and still want to support, go ahead and join the conversation there.
I mean, you just got to think that, cold milk versus hot milk, that Hot Milk's got to be rooting for Orange here, and, well, going to be feeling very, very happy about their hopes in this game, as Hino Bros will find a 4th goal completely unanswered by Goats and Glory.
Yeah, and this is, again, another goal where it's just walked in. I think they've kind of cracked the code. Like, hey, let's not take it to the air. Let's keep the ball on the ground, and let's just set up each other so that we have good defense, good coverage on the field. But let's just try to get them to overextend and take advantage of that open net. And we're seeing it over and over again. Let's see if the Hino Bros continue to rack up the score doing the same thing.
I mean, you kind of just have to, I guess, appreciate the script writing here, right? I mean, there's no other way that we would want this to end. Of course, we wanted it to be a 2-2 tie going into game number 5, and it looks like that's what we're going to be rewarded with. And honestly, I'm excited for that game 5 to have an overtime, possibly. I think that could definitely be in our future, and I think that these teams, once again, are very, very evenly matched. They're showing it. It's just the momentum, really, that has been kind of the name of the game here.
It really has. If you get that first goal, the first couple of goals, it just gives you that confidence to play with confidence. I was preemptive there. I thought that was a goal. I did not see the defender there at all. Oh, most valuable post coming in again to knock that ball away. That Flux was trying to get into the Hino Bros net. And here we go. 60 seconds remaining. Are the Goats and Glory going to be able to come back from this?
I don't think they're going to be able to go all the way back, but I would like them to at least respond, somehow find that first goal, because, we talk about momentum, right? Being down 4-0, that's going to be really, really bad. But if you think, hey, towards the end of that one, we got at least one, we can replicate that somehow, and maybe they're going to transition that into game number 5. But right now, it just seems all Hino Bros. Flux trying to get this one in, but nope, just gets denied once again.
Yeah, we're at 30 seconds remaining. You can see kind of the energy pick up in these players as a little bit less discipline, a lot more just charging towards the ball. We also do see the Hino Bros just stacking up on their net, but it still wasn't good enough in defense. Topside was able to sneak one in, but with only 13 seconds remaining, I don't know. I don't think Goats and Glory are going to be able to get 3 goals. But they do have a goal off of kickoff that we saw, last game? Maybe the game before? Let's see if it happens again here.
Nope.
Nope.
It gets kind of sandwiched into the wall.
Kind of anticlimactic as the ball just kind of stops.
Just a boom.
Just a thunk. Okay, yeah. I guess that didn't happen. It would have been cool if it did, though, right?
I mean, you know what I always say? Something that I hate worse than a blowout is a fake comeback. So I wouldn't have wanted to get anybody's hopes up. They're saving their goals for the final game, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I do.
That's what they say. Awesome. Well, if you're just joining us right now, this is week 2 of season 3 for the Combat Tested Gaming League. It is a league, a completely free league for veterans and active duty service members of all branches, all eras, to come together and just play some games. If you're not interested in Rocket League, but still interested in participating with, talking to other veterans, fellow service members, or learning about opportunities with the VA and VFW, you should join the Discord server. Check it out. It's a really awesome community. A lot of growth recently, and it's a really fun place to be. There's also tons of games, right? So we do have the Rocket League, and we also have Call of Duty leagues that are more competitive, but there's a lot of people playing any game that you can imagine, with new games being added all the time. So you should check it out.
That being said, though, right, we got to focus on the game at hand. It's game number 5, the final match of the night. So whoever you're rooting for, you pick it now, because it's a 2-2 tie. Somebody's going to win this one, go home happy, the other not so much. And, well, it's Topside to strike on in first. That momentum is there.
My goodness, we've got the Goats with the early goal within 8 seconds of kickoff. Definitely see a couple of the people rooting for them in the chat. Let's see if the Hino Bros can turn this game into what it looked like last game, or if we're going to see a repeat of the Goats and Glory rolling up the scoreboard.
I think we got to start running predictions in the chat. I think that's the...
I was just thinking that.
the next step. everyone can get their votes in on earlier before we have that, mistake, that first goal before, somebody gets an advantage. And, well, right now, Topside has been that advantage for the Goats and Glory side. They've done great things, but so have the Hino Bros. And with the back and forth game number 1, you'd expect that to end the same way as it began. But we're not seeing that response just quite yet.
No, I have no idea what's going to happen this game, but we did know right as soon as these two teams started clashing that this was going to be an awesome match to watch. And we see a goal here from Dude, evening up the score, tying it 1-1 with still just about 4 minutes remaining. It's anyone's game. It's anyone's game, and I honestly don't know what's going to happen.
You know what I do appreciate?
What do you appreciate?
From a casting standpoint, well, I was about to say if that's a kickoff goal. Well, it is.
Oh! Goal!
Rosa Trinity just striking in once again. I thought that was kickoff goal number 2 in that blue direction, but instead the Hino Bros will get an extra one. And what I do want to say is, you know what I do appreciate from a casting standpoint? In a best of 5 series, you kind of root for whoever's winning because that means you get to go home earlier. But in this, right, you play out all 5 games, you actually get to pick which team you're going to care about the whole time, and you can root for them the whole time. It just seems like you're caring so much more for the teams and for the players.
See, I thought we were supposed to be unbiased spectators, but I don't know. Yo, Airy
Subconscious.
Angel, Airier Angel just posted the coolest goat emojis in the chat. So I don't know if anyone has better ones than that. Maybe something for the Hino Bros. But chat is going off the hook tonight.
And so is Topside.
So is Topside. I'm not sure how many goals Topside has, but he has definitely been a huge contributor to the scoreboard tonight in all of the matches. And right now, they are just keeping this scoreboard neck and neck. 2-2, just over 3 minutes remaining. Here we go. And Rosa Trinity sending it off, but it getting shot back by Flux. And now we got a little bit of a dispute for possession taking to the air.
Yeah, I think that's at least 7 goals for Topside on the night, as far as I could count and remember in my cranium. But doesn't matter right now, right? The game is just scored it's tied like the series, 2-2, both of those score lines. And, well, looking for that third is Flux, and Topside is Rosa Trinity and Dude, and nobody's getting that advantage as, how lovely would it be to reach a 2-2 series with a 2-2 score line when the timer hits 2-2-2?
I don't know. I feel like you have to make a wish or something, right? Is that what you do?
I guess so.
When numbers line up, people just find reasons to make wishes. Dude running this ball all the way around the outside, but it does end up getting picked up by Flex. Ooh, Rosa Trinity saving the potential goal there. And here comes the aggression from Goats and Glory. They are trying to take the lead, and they're trying to do it right now. Topside and Flux both shooting from angle after angle, trying to find a point of weakness in this Hino Bros defense.
Well, if anybody at 2-2-2 wished for a Topside goal, your wish was granted. Because look at that. It's yet another one from Topside. This one, not the most flashy, but Flux getting the job done over there, bumping the defender in net. And that's what you got to do with some fundamental Rocket League. Sometimes you got to simplify it down. And, well, that lead will go on over to the Goats and Glory side once again.
100%. And I really liked how they approached that. They were staying close to midfield and just taking pot shot after pot shot after pot shot towards the Hino Bros net, and the Hino Bros were unable to kind of break away. There was too much space, too much reaction time for the Goats and Glory, and they finally found that weakness, and Topside, well, he delivered.
Yeah, you got to walk that ball on in, just as it's been done to you so many times. And Topside maybe with the chance here. Oh, a little bit of a mistouch. That one's going to go right out for Flux, and Flux will send that one on in. A little bit quiet, but still doing the dirty work as Flux gets rewarded with a nice little setup here.
That was beautiful, though, right? Because Suddude had that awkward spot in the corner, trying to get that ball. Topside comes, trying to get it as well, where they both have to super slow down. And when that happens, it's such a juicy target for a demo. Everyone loves getting that demo, but that pulls Rosa Trinity out of the defense. And that just gives Flux the opportunity to increase their lead to that 4-2 score you see right now.
Not only do we have to do chat predictions, I feel like we have to keep track of, how good we are doing at our own predictions in terms of who's winning in that battle, because maybe that's a little fun something for the end of the season tournament. Maybe we'll have to think about it. Chat, give us ideas.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Rosa Trinity with a goal that came out of seemingly nowhere, closing this gap. This is still in the Hino Bros grasp. They are not out of this. 43 seconds is more than enough time to get another goal, to at least get this into overtime. But what I'm curious about, and what I predict, is if the Goats and Glory score another goal, it's a whole nother story. They have to be careful with how they approach this.
I thought that was just going to be it right there. Right there, done and dusted. But no, will be that 4-3 scoreline like we've been seeing for at least the past, I guess 15 seconds. But, that final 30 seconds going to be coming on in. Topside still applying that offensive pressure and wanting to get that early goal in. Not opting for the demo, instead opts for the 50. But that actually ends up in a very dangerous place. Topside's able to recollect it and corral this one into the opposing net. Oh my, the GGs are already in chat. The players are giving up hope, it seems like Goats and Glory have this one taken away.
Yeah, and I think that's a fair prediction, right? Like, what you would have to do is get two ridiculous off of kickoff goals straight down the field, and the odds of that happening, especially with how these teams have been playing, is just so low.
Oh no, you're gonna make us do another kickoff? Come on now. Topside, just, stat padding, which, fair play, right? You scored 7, you scored 5 in this game. Hello. Oh boy. Yeah. It's just Goats and Glory that had the endurance, were able to pull this one on through, and they will take our 5-game totals 3-2. They're going to be our winners for week number 2 on your streamed match. So make sure to check up with the standings if you want to follow along there.
100%. And again, thank you to the KC crew and the VFW for working together to host these leagues for veterans and active duty service members to join and be a part of. And also thank you to the KC crew and VFW for having all the support that's provided in the Discord channels with just like VA benefit conversations, bringing subject matter experts in, helping veterans and active duty service members in need. There's a lot that goes on in this community. And thank you to the viewers. Thanks everyone for coming out and support. This is a relatively new endeavor, and we'll make sure that we keep this going on, and we'll see you next Wednesday for week 3 of Rocket League.